I mentioned this in one of my videos before that I don't like approach, holla, shoot my shot at random women in public. I don't care how fine they are. I don't care like how cute they're dressed. Like, I just do not approach women like that out in public. I know a lot of people were like, yo, well, if you don't approach women out in public, like why don't you? And how would you expect to meet someone then? This is gonna sound so cheesy to y'all, but I started approaching women and I would ask them if they were a Christian. And I would approach them and I would use it as kind of like a ministry. I would kind of approach them and say, hey, my name's Cyrus, what's your name? Hey, okay, cool, Amber, whatever, just made up a name. Then I would be like, hey, you know, are you a Christian? Are you a believer? How's your relationship with God? What I ran into though was that many women would say, yes, I'm a Christian. Like, oh, yes, I'm saved. I love the Lord. I love the Lord. The thing that sucked about this was that I would be like, wow, so this girl is beautiful and she loves God. So then, you know, you go on a couple dates and then you start falling for the person. Next thing you know, I'm like, dang, this girl's definition of love God is something totally different. I was at a Walmart. I hope this girl doesn't follow me. I don't mean no shame, no shade if she do. I doubt she follows me because it's been years since her and I have seen each other. But I was at a Walmart. Man, saw this girl. She was so fine. So fine. I was like, skirt. I had to stop. Man, and I approached her. And this was a time where I wasn't even approaching a lot of women. But I approached her. I was like, yo, excuse me. Did the whole, like, are you a believer? Can I pray for you? Yes, I'm a believer. Oh my God, I've never had a man approach me that way. You know, I'm kind of feeling myself at the time. I'm like, I'm cut from a different cloth. But cheesiness aside, she told me she was a believer. So we started kicking it, going on dates. But I noticed that she could only go on dates in the daytimes. The rest of the week, she could never go on dates, especially not evenings, I mean. It started to become very obvious that she was hiding something from me. Because it's like she had this secret life that I just was unaware of. So fast forward, eventually we stopped talking. Some months go by, she randomly hits me up. She invites me over to her crib. I'm like, oh, cool, never been to her house before. So I go over to her house, we chilling, and she told me she got suspended from work. I'm like, oh, suspended for what? She's like, oh, I beat this girl up because the girl was taking money from me. I'm like, taking money from you? Like, that's weird. Like, I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's a waitress. Maybe she was taking her tips from her or something. Then out of nowhere, her job calls her. Now, it's late at night. It's probably around like 8, 9 o'clock. Her job calls her and says, hey, we actually want you to come in. And she was so freaking hyped. She's like, oh, I didn't tell you. I didn't want you to judge me, but I'm a dancer at Diamonds of Atlanta.
Yeah, I love the strippers. Yeah, I love the strippers. Yeah, I love the strippers. Yeah, I love the strippers.
So this is no shade to her, anyone else who's a stripper. I have followers that are strippers. I have strippers, like friends that I'm cool with that are strippers. Well, nevertheless, that's something that clearly I was not trying to marry a stripper. That was not, I was trying to date a stripper. Like, that was not something that was in the cards for my life. That led me to really be hesitant with approaching women in public. Hesitant for the reason that my friend mentioned, where it made me question my motives. Like, am I approaching a woman just because she's attractive? Because if I start doing that, I can begin creating a habit, a lifestyle, where I'm one of those dudes where I'm just shooting my shot everywhere. I'm just hollering every which way that I go. So that was one reason. The alternative reason was because of the fact that, man, meeting people out in public is such a weird thing, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. The person might not be a Christian. Even if they are a Christian, that could mean 50 different things. In the book of Ruth, where Boaz, who was a very successful man, had many female options because of his success, that he was attracted to Ruth because he saw her working in the field. So he was able to hear about her work ethic. Other people were able to attest for like her level of accountability, her going above and beyond. People were able to attest about who she was connected to and the fact that she left her people, her God, to be a part of his people and to serve his God. So there were all these things that Boaz was able to learn about Ruth before even approaching her on that level, or before connecting with her on any type of romantic level. And this is something that I think is very important, that many of us should attempt to practice. That instead of us approaching someone just because they are attractive, or even because they're attractive and, oh, they're a Christian, that we should ask about people. Many people who know me personally know that I'm the type of guy where I ask questions. I ask people, yo, who is that girl? Is she a real believer, or is she just at church? Is she serving? Like, those are things that are very, very important to me. And I think should be important for everyone, to make sure that we're not getting hoodwinked. Because somebody could still have all of these things, be doing all of these things, and you still get hoodwinked. I believe there's some wisdom in that. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. So y'all let me know. Do y'all think I'm like super, super weird? Clearly, I have been open to approaching women out in public. It's just been with more restrictions. Because approaching just random women just because they are attractive, that junk is dead. But yeah, y'all let me know if I'm tripping or not. Fellas, y'all let me know if any of y'all, if y'all are open to still approaching women out in public. I mean, tell me why. Like, why do you think that's better? Why do you think it's smarter? Man, aside from that, I love y'all. I love y'all very much. And I'll see y'all on the next video.